Codie, we just had John Plumtree in here talking about his area of expertise being in the contact. Have you sort of noticed a little bit more physicality in your trainings with him around?
I know. I've definitely noticed his passion in terms of the breakdown and all that stuff. He's come in and slipped in quite nicely in terms of that role, and it's sort of one thing that we want to nail off, because it helps our game a lot, and we know that with the Aussies, that if they can disrupt that ball, then it'll put us under a bit of pressure. So.
Do you think there was a need for that? I guess when you come together such a new group to really solidify that at the breakdown and the physicality in there?
I think it's always been a focus for us as All Blacks. When you come into this environment, you can live and die by how clean your breakdown is, and if the other team is slowing down your pill or being a nuisance, then it goes a long way into slowing down how we'd like to play. So there's always a focus, but I think with Plum coming in, just brings a bit of edge, and his mindset around that whole area is good.
With Dave Rennie now in charge of the Wallabies, someone who lots of people around New Zealand rugby know quite well, does it make it, I guess, easier to prepare for them with some of the styles that he has as a coach?
I wouldn't say easier. I think with him, he's been with the Chiefs in Glasgow, and he's got a couple of other coaches behind him in terms of the English attack coach from last year, and I think they'll want to bring in a good mix of the way they play rugby from the north, and the way that Renz likes to play. We sort of played against the way he likes to have his team, so I think it helps, but definitely still a lot of question marks in terms of Sunday and what they'll bring.
There's been a bit of commentary over in Oz that maybe they might look to emulate a sort of England semi-final World Cup sort of style of play or personnel. Are you confident that if you did come up against that sort of array of tactics again, that you'd be able to sort of get around it on the pitch?
Yeah, I think it just comes back to our mindset on Sunday. We're here to front up and play as All Blacks, and whether they're going to try and disrupt us, that's the whole part of rugby. If you do that well, then usually you come out on top. But if we don't get our mindset right, then they could easily come here and put a show on. So for us, we've just got to front up mentally, make sure we get all the detail right in our game, and that should nullify anything that they try and do.
We just heard Plum say that from a coaching perspective, last year's World Cup campaign is dead and buried. But I just wonder, from a player perspective, is that a chip that's going to remain on the shoulder for a bit of time, in terms of you guys wanting to prove that was a blip?
I think, for me being involved with that, it obviously hurts. You're never going to forget losing in a World Cup playoff. But the great thing about this year is that we've got a new group, and there's a whole lot of new players in here that weren't a part of that team, and they can bring a lot of energy themselves and help us get through. And we've got a whole new coaching staff as well, so there's a lot of excited people in the group, and looking forward to a Sunday. It's almost been a year since we've played, so that's just what we're sort of using as fuel to get back out there and pull on a black jersey.
What about the set piece, Codie? It seems from Fozzie and John, there's been a real focus on that. It's obviously a real attacking weapon that you can use in the modern game as well.
Yeah, for sure. We've had almost a month together now in terms of camps and stuff, so it's been a huge focus with likes of Fiki and Plum coming in, sort of both taking their roles in the line out in the scrum, and it's a great platform to strike off when you've got freakish athletes in the back line that we have at the moment. It's pretty exciting to think if we can give them good ball, then they can do their magic. So.
And yourself, get out there on the edge and.
Yeah, I'll be trying to keep up with the likes of those new fast wingers and all that, I think. But whatever I can do, I'll do my best to do it well.
Speaking of the new fast wingers, what have you made of Cable Clark?
Oh, he's a top bloke. He's full of energy. You can tell he's only 20. But he's slipped in nicely. The great thing about the men that have come in, they're young, but they're still their own people. And this environment can sometimes be intimidating, but it seems to be that they've slipped in nicely and they can be themselves. And that's what we want when it comes to playing footy. Get out there and express yourself. And he's doing that already now, so I think he'll do that on the field if he gets a chance.
What
about Sam Cane? Has he been himself this week? Has he seen the same Sam Cane as captain as you saw as Sam Cane when he wasn't captain?
Yeah, that's a great thing about Kano. He's always going to give 100 on the field, and when it comes to off it, he's serious when he needs to be, and then you can have a laugh, and he can just be one of the lads when it comes to just chilling out. So I think he's got a good leadership group behind him, and I know he'll be really excited just to get out there and be a bit of nerves, but boys have got his back 100%. So.
Kieran Reid came in, suddenly you're allowed to wear coloured boots and things like that. Has Sam changed anything much for the guys? Is there anything that he's mixed up with?
No, I think it's just his ability to be able to connect with every player in the group is a huge asset that he has in terms of how he can lead, and that adds its own element, I think, to when you're out there bloody under the pump in a game, you know that he's going to give everything, and he trusts that you can do the same, and it goes a long way again for those young boys coming through.
Touching on another one of the youngsters, Tupovai, I suppose you might know a bit more about his game in terms of maybe having him with you in a scrum. I mean, what have you made of his introduction, to the game, because his rise to the top has been quite rapid, but also just his introduction to All Blacks environment?
Yeah, again, harsh honesty is, truth is that I didn't even know who he was start of the season, and he's come on leaps and bounds with the Chiefs, and now he's gets a chance to pull on a black jersey at some stage. Is pretty cool. I think you've seen him run around. He's not the smallest bloke. He's sort of got that Patrick Tuipulotu size about him, and his physicality and presence, and I think he's only like 20 years old is a bit scary. If that's how big they're getting at that age, there's no chance for us old boys.
Codie, what about the three hookers in camp? What's that been like? Is it always competitive in the battle?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously been with Codie for a while now, and known him a long time. And Suffs, he's young, and he's a bit of a freakish athlete again. He's only young himself, but I think there's a good mix there. We're sort of hopefully doing our part and helping each other out and preparing this team. That's what it's all about, I think. So.
Thanks, team.